kick it off with the head coach of your LSU softball Tigers, 23-0, fresh off beating the number one team in the land at Tiger Park on Tuesday. Coach Beth Torina. Coach, what's going on? How we feeling this morning?
Well, you know you've made it when you get to be like the opening thing on OTB the morning after you play a game. Like, you know the game was real.
And look, I mean, all y'all done, look, it's like you said, deal us in. We don't care what day, we don't care what time, we don't care what the weather is, we gonna fight. And that's what this team has continued to do. Coach, I want to start with a bit of a personal question. So it was a great day for the field trip game. The kids were electric. Yeah, I love seeing all the horns down out of the younger generation. It makes me so happy. But if I'm not mistaken, was your daughter in the crowd there with her friends in her class?
Well, my daughter's class was the group right next to the Texas dugout.
Oh, man. So how special was it? I mean, because, look, you have family in attendance all the time, but to have her with all her classmates, watching her mom at work, I mean, that had to be one of those kind of great core memories.
Guys, those kids were so, just on one. They were crazy, right? Everybody's screaming. I look up, my kid is just seated in her seat with her arms folded.
She's nervous. She's nervous. That's the family way.
I think she's just been there and done that.
Yeah.
She was trying to play it cool. Hey guys, this isn't my first time at Tiger Park. I know what it's like to be here, so I'm pretty big time. We did check the other two out of school. I hate to admit, but it was a big day for the family, and I thought that they deserved to be a part of it too.
Without question, they did. But how cool was it to see? I mean, it's obviously an early first pitch, but it's still it's a big matchup, right? It's two top three teams in the country, but to see so many people out there supporting the team like they have, obviously, but I see Instagram stories of people tailgating out there and going to get breakfast before they head to the LSU softball game. What does it feel like to get that kind of support, Coach, in a game like that means so much, even though it was an early time on a work day?
Yeah, Baton Rouge really showed up for us, which was cool. I know it was a big reason. I mean, Texas put a freshman on the mound. I'm sure she had not been in an environment like that. So it was cool on so many levels. I feel like a lot of the school kids that got to come probably was not only their first time in Tiger Park, maybe it was their first softball game they've ever seen. Yeah. And then our season ticket holders being gracious to shifting around, being uncomfortable to allow something like that to happen for those kids. Just a lot of really selfless things. And a lot of just a huge, strong showing for the Baton Rouge community that we're so appreciative of.
Coach, there's so many areas in which you could highlight, whether it's y'all jumping on them early, whether it's the heroic 10 in a row retired by Berzon to finish it off. But I want to ask you about your team's response. I think it was the third and the fourth when all of a sudden it goes from 6-0 to 6-4. At that point, Texas has all the momentum. It's real easy to be overwhelmed, to get run over. What did you learn about your team as you watched them hit the brakes, immediately get a run back, and then lock back in and finish that thing out?
Yeah, the seventh run was the most important run of the game. Obviously setting the tone with the 5 in the first, the big swing by Kelly Lynch, right? That was huge. That put us in control of the game. But I think the seventh run was the biggest run. Just like a reminder, hey, we're still here. This is still our place. We're not going anywhere. You can keep trying, but it's not going to happen kind of a feel. So it was huge. And that was led by, Sierra Daniel hits a ball at the wall. Yeah. She got to third, and I said, your scouting report's been forever changed, my dear. She crushed that ball. Just what a moment for a freshman to step up and do that in a big game like that, too.
Yeah, and then replacing a veteran starter who unfortunately goes down, like we talked about last week, too. Those are the moments, Coach, and you know this, you've been in this game a while. Those are the moments that can give you that confidence if you're a young player taking over for a veteran player that, hey, I can do this. The stage is not going to be too big for me.
Yeah, I think our freshmen are all ready. When I looked in the dugout to call somebody out for Danica, there wasn't a doubt in my mind that they would get the job done. So our freshmen are continuing to work hard and put in the time. So I know if we have to call on any of them, they'll be prepared.
Coach, so look, Ole Miss coming up this weekend. I'll get to that in a little bit, but more of just a flow standpoint, in terms of the season. Y'all have not had a problem with this thus far at all. But this is a pretty massive win, and you've had so much early season success here. How do you kind of manage to keep this team even-keeled?
Yeah, I do think they're pretty locked in. I feel like they understand what's in front of them. I think, the seniors have played in the SEC long enough to know, like, every team is better than their record or, I think every team is talented. And I think they have done this long enough to know that they can't blink, they can't shut it down, they can't take a step back, So I think they'll show up and play hard this weekend. I hope everybody will come out and support them doing that.
How much does that help having this veteran team and seeing that, okay, every time that we've come off a big win this year, obviously being undefeated, we have followed that up with a quality performance regardless of opponent. So, you go on the road, you beat a ranked Kentucky team and different temperatures than you're used to here in Baton Rouge. And sure, you can get up for the Texas game, but you've talked about this veteran group and not really having a worry about them always being locked in. Like, how much does that help having older players?
Yeah, I think we've talked their whole career about some days you dial it up and some days you dial it down. Tuesday was like a dial it down moment, right?
Yeah.
Tuesday was a moment where, like, your emotions are so high you have to control them. So I think they understand how to find that balance, and, like, they just have to play LSU softball and be consistent. And I think we've worked on that. So hopefully we'll get more of that this weekend. I think the big thing is, like, they can't play for the zero that's behind the number. They have to, like, play big, not be afraid to lose. Just come out attacking people, play to win. And what we've done all year is worry about the name on our jersey, not theirs, like playing LSU softball.
Coach, Sierra Briggs was obviously huge in Tuesday's win, but also now 4 games in a row with a hit and a run. What has Sierra meant to the team thus far in this 23-0 start?
Yeah, it's cool moving her to the leadoff spot. She's honestly a leadoff hitter, right? We've just had 2 leadoff hitters for her entire career pretty much. So, but it's cool seeing her just step into that role and own it, and just understanding she's there to score runs and set the tone, and she's so good at that. She's so good at that. So it was such a nice thing to have her ready to go into that role.
And I know you're probably okay. So this weekend against Ole Miss at Tiger Park, this is one of the rare weekends in which you won't be facing a team with a number in front of its name, right? But it is still the SEC. So kind of what's the plan? And you touched on it a bit, but to make sure that everybody's locked in and not taking this too lightly, because there's not just that obvious number when you see it in the newspaper or online.
Well, they're still really talented. Just because they're not in the top 25 doesn't mean they're not in the top 30 or the top 35, right?
True. True.
They're really talented. They beat Mississippi State, who is in the top 25, last week. So we know that they're capable of a quality game, and we know everybody in our league is. So we're starting to evaluate the challenges of what they bring to us right now, of course, on film and yesterday. And, there's a lot of things that they bring. They swing big, and they've got some arms, some power arms. So we're going to have our stuff together like we always do.
Coach, I know you have every single thing mapped out, and so you play this big game on Tuesday, and this series is going to be a little different Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and I'm sure there was a purpose for that, playing Texas, but do you change the schedule at all, knowing that you got maybe an extra day?
Yeah, we flipped our off days this week, so we took off yesterday. We practiced Monday to get prepped for Texas, which the Saturday, Sunday, Monday really helped out in order to be able to do that, which wasn't initially scheduled, right? We get those pretty late in the year, somewhere in January, but that was nice, trying to have that extra day to prep for Texas, and I felt like our team was the more prepared team on Tuesday.
Coach Beth Torina, every single Thursday. Wow, sorry. I'm sick, Coach. So I get a free pass. Coach, did you take me
no
up?
Free passes.
I was about to say,
passes.
you think a coach is going to give you a free pass for being sick?
Especially not a pitching coach. She hates free passes.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Thank you, Taylor. Taylor actually liked that joke. Thank you. Coach, did you take me up on any of my schlocky fantasy reading?
No, I have not. I did finish a book last week, moved on to another one, and it is not your recommendation, but maybe someday.
Just so you know, I've been telling everybody you have, and I've been telling everybody that's actually the key behind the 23-0 start. So I'm just going to keep telling people that.
Perfect. Okay, I'll switch my answer. Give the credit. I got it. You got to give me a hint.
Massive congratulations again on the win. Best of luck this weekend. Pack out Tiger Park, y'all. Saturday, Sunday, Monday if you want to get out there and watch the show. 23-0, 25-0 is the record. They're not focused on that, but still, just a great start for this LSU softball team. Coach Torina, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me and the support, you guys. We appreciate you.